Hello everyone, this is Yo5 and welcome to Super Imaginative Toy Review. And today's toy we're looking at the 2005 release by Bandai of the Super Imaginative Chogokin action figure review. And today's video is a part 2 video, and we'll be looking at Ebiru, or Evil as the English translated version. Now the figure and the rest of the stuff has been removed out from the packaging, so let's take a look at the accessories here. Ebiru comes with the Elado blade, the Joe gun, 2 extra heads and 3 extra hands. Let's take a look at the Elado blade here. The Elado blade, I will not go too much details into it because the Elado blade is basically the same design and paint job compared to Zabutan's Zarat blade. No difference at all. Next we have the Joe gun, which is a specific weapon unique to Ebiru's. As you can see there, the entire gun is painted in metallic grey, very nice. Bottom section here is painted in a bronze and red mixture. There's a lot of nice details towards the gun itself. As you can see, there's a knob at the bottom section there. A lot of downs, tubings. Now the 2 barrels, as you see here, on the right side the barrel is straight, but on the left the barrel is, well, it's not as straight as you will notice, so that's a bad point there. But still, the weapon is very nice. Got a handle and a smaller trigger at the bottom here. Very nice. Ebiru can build only 1 weapon at a time, which is a pity though, since he has 2. And he can only wield it by plugging the right hand onto him. Now this is the same mold from Zabutan's hand, no difference at all, but painted in dark red. You'll notice the hand here, especially on the thumb, the gaping hole is really widened up. And you will notice the thumb here, especially in this section here, there's a large seam noticeable. So as we've shown, that it's gonna pop out sooner or later, but so far it's quite sturdy. Not too sure why they put the gaping hole so large, because the moment you place the gun handle onto the hand itself, it's rather loose. Then we have a pair of enclosed fists, which is also painted in the same colors, and the mold is the same as Zabutan's enclosed fist, no difference at all. Then we have a pair of open hands, as you can see there, same mold from Zabutan. Next we'll take a look at the 3 heads. First, pop the head out. This is the default head of Ebiru. Now you'll notice Ebiru's head here has a nice little red mohawk going on. It's a red translucent plastic material, so does the eyes as well, made of the same material. Now the ears, which looks like a bat wings, is made of a clear translucent plastic material. There's no mechanical parts being shown here, and it's not as detailed compared to Zabutan's. Now the entire head is painted in yellow, but it's rather sloppy paint job, especially on the back portion here. It looks a little bit sloppy and dirty. And the lines that's painted onto the figure itself, especially on this section here, some of the lines are not really well done, and some of the smudges you can see down this section here, and there's a bit of smudge going on. So there's this top section here. It's not really clean, this side as well. The mold is not bad, but I prefer the second head. The second head looks much more nicer because the eyes, the top section of the eyes there, sharpened up on the edges there, very nice. The rest of the head is the same mold, except the eyes is a bit different, and so does the lines there. But as I mentioned before, the linings are not really well painted. There's a bit of smudge, some of the linings are faded off. It's not really well done. A little bit of dirt there. It's not really clean as well. And the third final head is the demon head, as you can see here. Now the demon head sculpt is very nice. Ebiru's mouth is on the sides here. You can see all the fangs are being shown. Very nice. Same mold for the rest of the head itself. The eyes is a bit more bigger and not as sharper at the end of the edges here, the top section of the eye, compared to the second head. Still very nice. Now let me equip the second head to the body itself, and let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now the gloves and the kneecap and boots itself is painted the same colors as the hands itself, so they are painted in dark red. The linings are of course painted, very nicely done. However, the rest of the body itself, the yellow paint job of the body is alright. It's just the lining itself that they painted on towards the entire body is not really good, especially on this section. You can see some of the linings broke off. It looks very messy as well. This section starts to fade off. Some of the lining is missing. Very dirty paint job. Some of the linings are way too light, way too dirty. Back portion of the body, as you can see, the butt there is really dirty, all smudged up with the black ink. And the back portion here, you can see some of the linings are missing or faded off. Really poor paint job, really poor. I really wish they do a better paint job than, well, compared to Zabuton there, but there's a lot of smudges there, making the figure really dirty looking. Now let's take a look at the figure's mold. Now besides the head, majority of the mold there share the same mold as Zabuton, with a little bit of differences from the chest and the abdomen area and the belt. But the rest of the stuff, of course, we have the die cast material here, which is a bit more shorter compared to Zabuton. Got the die cast piece here, different to Zabuton, and also on the leg part as well. But the rest of the molds are very similar. They reuse the molds from the neck collar to the chest to the back portion of the body, as I shown like so, to the legs, arms. They all share the same body. The key differences is that they modified the chest area and the abdomen area. Now let's take a close look at the chest area here. Now the chest here is shaped like a butterfly, and you get to see that this entire piece is made of a clear translucent plastic material, and inside you get to see all the mechanical parts. Very nice. Here on the abdomen area, they changed it a little bit, modified the abdomen area. Looks very nice. Other than that, not a lot of changes. I really like the chest area here. The belt, of course, as you can see, looks like a miniature bat with, well, with a sort of like a singular eye for the bat head. As you can see, it's made of a clear translucent plastic, while the head is made of a red translucent plastic. Very nice. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. Like previous from Zabuton's articulation, they shared the same articulation. The neck joint here on the top section here is on a ball joint with a peg, so you can actually pivot the head all the way up this far, down this far, side to side, or turn 360 degrees like so. The lower section here can pivot down this far or up and turn left and right like so. Torso joint here can pivot down a little bit and turn 360 degrees, but it's a little bit tight. You can see that. Waist joint is a swivel joint that turns 360 degrees. Shoulder pads is actually articulated, that goes up a little bit, down, go back and forward. Shoulder joints can go forward, back, because it's being handled by the shoulder pads here, and raise the arms this far. Upper bicep is on a swivel joint, but it cannot swivel 360 degrees because it is being handled by this mold here, so it can turn left and right. Now, elbow joint here is on a hinge ball joint, so you can move the elbow this far, straight, or you can turn it a little bit side to side. However, for this right elbow, it's too loose, way too loose. Now the wrist joint here is on the ball joint, can go inward, outward a little bit, and turn 360 degrees. And you can interchange with the hands with the other hands. The problem is, like Zabuton, is a bit difficult trying to change the hands itself because the peg is a bit too big to fit into this very tiny hole. Then we have the hip joints. Now, unlike the Zabuton figure, which is hidden by the side of the die-cast material, for Ebiru, he has very little restrictions to moving the hip joints itself. So the legs can move forward, back a little bit, go in a little bit, and to the sides. Very nice. Now, here we have sort of a double jointed knee. It doesn't have a swivel tie though. Now, for the knee itself, you can bend, for the first joint, bend this far, and the second joint, bend this far. Now, for the bottom section of the joint itself, you can also turn left and right, which I forgot to mention for Zabuton's review. And then we have the ankle joint, which is on a hinge ball joint. So for the hinge, it can go up and down this far, and for the ball joint, inwards, outwards, down, up, and then 360 degrees. However, for this right ankle here, it pops up way too easily. Way too easily. Then we have the toe articulation that goes upwards and straight. Now, overall, the figure is really a bit disappointing compared to Zabuton, because with the really weak right elbow here, and the worst part is trying to fit this gun onto his hand itself, and he doesn't really hold it properly, and as you can see it's flailing all over the place. It doesn't hold it quite tight. And then we have a really weak ball joint that doesn't connect to the ankle very well. Really poor paint job. It's really sloppy paint job. Other than that, some of the details are nice, but it has too many problems for this figure. So if I'm going to give a rating out of this, I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 10. As you can see, I can't even bend the elbow for him to pose nicely. It's really poor. So yes, 4 out of 10 for Ebiru. So I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05, and I'm signing off.